All right. So, one of your homework assignments is rearranging an equation to slope-intercept form. But again, we need to talk about slope-intercept form first and what that has and what that means to do. So, a lot of you are familiar with this. The slope-intercept form is when we all shout out y equals mx plus b. And the reason why it's called the slope-intercept form is because it gives us the slope and it gives us the y-intercept. So these are labeled M and B. So right here, so we have y equals mx plus b. So this is the slope, and this is the y-intercept. And again, what does y-intercept mean? It means where it crosses the y-axis. So your starting point, in this case, if your equation is in this form, it's always going to be on the y-axis. A lot of times people get all jazzed up and they start on the x-axis. So again, it's the y-intercept, so you're going to start at the y-axis. If we were in class, I would make you do it with your arms. Okay, so the number by x right here is the value of your slope. So this tells you where to start, and this tells you where to go to get to the next point, just like we did in the first lesson. So if we have an equation that looks like this, say 2x minus 5. So it's in slope-intercept form. It says y equals blah, blah, and it gives us the slope, and it gives us the y-intercept. Now you want to be careful because this sign is not plus, it's minus. So what that means is that your y-intercept is going to be -5 on the y-axis. Okay, so you're going to start down here. So that's where you start. And then the slope tells you where to go. So the slope is 2. And so we can convert that to 2/1. So that means from this starting point on our y-axis, we're going to go up 2 and then right 1. So from here, we're going to go up 2, 1, 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. Up 2, right 1. We make our big, strong, powerful lines. Not a dinky little dinkaroo. Okay. So let's say we have this equation. We have y equals -3, 2x plus 7. So what is that telling us? That's telling us that this is where we start. This is our y-intercept, our starting point. And this is our slope. So this tells us where to go. So we're going to start at our y-intercept. In this case, it's +7. So we start here at +7 on the y-line. And then to get to our next point, we use this slope that it tells us. It's telling us that we're going to go down 3, right 2. So from here, we're going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2. Make a point. Down 3, right 2. Looks like we almost collided with our first line. I guess we did collide with it. Okay. So one thing to check is when you're making your lines is that your picture correlates with what you've been told. If we look at this blue line, right? Our blue line has a positive slope of 2 or 2/1, and our line is going up. Our red line has a slope of -3, 2. So that means it's a negative slope, so it should be going down. The one thing you always want to remember, you're only going negative in one direction. So if you find yourself going from here down 3 and then left 2, well, as you do that, you see that your line will be going up, because what happens when you do a negative divided by negative? You get a positive. You don't want that. So you only go negative in one direction. And usually that's going to be either up or down. Or, you know what I mean? Like, so if it's a negative, just go down and then to the right. And sometimes we get something where we think we know what it's talking about, and then we're like, wait, what? So if we just have this equation, y equals 3x. Okay, so does it give us a number plus or minus right here? No, obviously, because I didn't write it. So what's the number that you could add to something that's not going to make a difference? It won't change anything. Right, 0. So if we can say, well, if there's nothing here, that means our starting point, our y-intercept equals 0. So that's our starting point. So just think about if you are working or have worked in the past and you don't get a raise, right? Your raise is 0, then your paycheck did not change. Or at least your hourly or salary rate did not change. So 0 being added in doesn't affect the equation. So that means we're going to start right here at 0. And then with a slope of 3, that means we're going to go up 3, right 1. We're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, right 1. 1, 2, 3, right 1. There we go. Okay. So in a nutshell, that's how we use the slope-intercept form. And in the next lesson, we're going to rearrange our equations to get them into slope-intercept form using the powers of algebra. All right, so I'll see you then.